Let me ask you this: like, you do end up, and I do want to talk about how initially, you decided not to get into music, but eventually you do get into music, and you decide to, in a way, follow your dad's footsteps. You are sort of in the same genre, country music.
Sure.
It's a
Yeah.
different brand or style of country, sure, but at that point, you can decide when you're starting out what you are to be called, and you do choose the John Paycheck. So I imagine there's a level of honoring your dad's legacy, but at the same time, you want to be separate from that and create your own path. So
Yeah.
was there a tough decision at this time and what you were going to be called?
Well, my legal name is Paycheck, right?
Okay.
Dad legally got his name changed in the late '60s, and that is my legal name. It's on my military. It's me,
Okay.
and my birth certificate. But and then my first name, my full first name is Jonathan,
Right.
but it's John. Everybody calls me John.
Right.
So, I had debated. I was like, well, it's so close to Dad's name. I was like, man, that's first off, that's going to be a headache. Just in the business period,
Just in
and then
searchability. Yeah. Just
yeah,
yeah. Yeah.
it doesn't do me any favors
Sure.
because Dad's stuff usually comes up first.
Right.
It always does,
Yep.
and I'm like, what a pain. So, but then there's a piece of me that is, okay, if I don't, am I dishonoring my family?
That's where I was going. Yeah.
Right, and I
Yeah.
and I don't want to dishonor and disrespect my family by not using my family name. I get it. In artistry, we're allowed to use pseudonyms and everything else. I
Yeah.
understand that, but I'm not. I was, come up in the, like I said, fire service and military and all this kind of stuff, and there's codes of ethics and honors and values that we follow, and it just felt wrong to me. And if it feels wrong, I probably shouldn't do it.
Yep.
So
Great.
here we are. I'm John Paycheck. Nice to
Yeah,
meet you.
I love that, man, because everything makes sense to change it
Yeah,
artistically, brand wise, business
yeah,
wise, artistically, just creating your own music and wanting not to
yep,
be lumped in with what came before. All of it
yep.
makes sense to change into that pseudonym. So I was
Right.
curious about that, and I know
And I'm
some.
not
Go ahead.
I'm not gaining a bunch of followers. I'm not gaining streams. I'm not getting anything by having a similar name, having a
Yeah,
family name.
I think it
It,
hurts
it,
you. I think it
it
hurts
doesn't.
you. Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't do a lot of good.
No.
In fact, in many cases, and I think I mentioned this. There was, I've had venues that
Yeah.
don't want. They're worried about it, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I, some people might think, oh well, you're riding the coattails or something. And I'm like,
Well,
well,
it definitely
plus
makes you harder to find on the internet.
if you go and listen to my music,
Yeah.
after, expecting to hear Dad's stuff, you're probably going to skip my stuff and go find Dad.
Yeah,
So
it's not the
'cause we're
same
different.
thing.
We're very
Yeah,
different.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's not the same thing. Yeah, I was just curious about that. If there was a process when you started out, whether you really gave it a lot of thought. I figured you did,
I did.
knowing
Oh
kind
yeah.
of kind of how your history has gone.